Hello and welcome to Critical Strike, episode 65. I'm Josh Bicknell, and you are keeping me from Cataclysm, but here with me is Kyle Dumond.
I am also being kept from Cataclysm and Minecraft. These are bad things. My hair.
Your hair?
Yeah, I got a cut. I got a cut today.
Shave and a haircut.
2 bits.
Yep. Roger
But
rabbit.
it finally took me a year and 3 months to find an old racist Italian barber in Connecticut.
What?
And I just did, and now it feels like I'm back in Philly. So everything's pretty good.
Why do you need a racist Italian?
I don't know. It's something about those 2 very specific traits that make a good barber.
Huh. I don't think I've ever had a racist or an Italian cut my hair.
Huh. You, sir, have never lived.
Yeah, I think I'm missing out on something here. This is
I know.
I'm gonna have to visit you, and then you can take me to your barber.
Yeah. There's one downside, though. He was a Tea Party fan. And I was like, I really don't want to hear about your political views.
And then he just slices your ear off.
And then I couldn't really say anything against him because he had a straight razor to the back of my neck. I'm like, I can't say
Oh, yeah.
you're dumb
Yeah.
because then you're going to give me a bad haircut or cut me. And I don't want you to do either of those things.
I would personally cut you.
So I kept doing the non-committal grunts.
The grunts? You were like,
Yeah, the non-committal
what? Like
grunt,
he was cutting your hair and you were just like, ugh.
Nah, it's more of a moan.
Ugh.
That's not a grunt either.
Ugh.
What the fuck was that?
I'm trying to figure out like how you would act
a
if somebody had a
non-committal
razor to your
grunt.
neck.
A non-committal grunt's like,
Oh, well, that's where I'm not let down.
Well, that's the sound, Josh. It's
Well-
just a
Well, I was like,
I had to keep my mouth closed because I didn't want hair to go into it, and then I didn't want a mouthful of hair.
and then you didn't want him to stab you.
And I didn't, yeah, exactly.
But, you kind of got to live on the edge a little bit. When an old racist Italian has a razor to the back of your head, you got to be like, ugh.
Well, then I didn't want him to think I was one of the gays, and he would have cut me either way.
Well, yeah. Oh, man, the Ovechkin commercial's on. Fucking
The
hockey.
what?
Alexander Ovechkin, his head is in the locker, and he starts laughing at a kid. It's so creepy, so awesome.
What the fuck? What's it advertising?
Some skates. It's a hockey commercial. I'm watching the Bruins game right now, alright?
What? How is that going to get people to buy skates?
It made me want skates. That way he just won't laugh at me. He's got a very creepy laugh. But anyway, this is not hockey. Even though I'm going to a hockey game tomorrow.
Where?
The Manchester Monarchs. It's the LA Kings farm team.
Well, I could go to a hockey game tomorrow, too. I could go to the Rangers farm team, the Connecticut Whale.
Yeah, well,
They play the Brass Bonanza, Josh. Do you know who used to play the Brass Bonanza?
who?
The Whalers.
Oh my god, really?
And actually, it worked because there's now like 4 times the amount of people who go to those games now.
Well, that's because people are nostalgic.
Yeah.
And they miss the Whalers. The
You
worst
just go
team in
down
the
to
NHL.
South. Didn't they win the cup within the last 10 years?
No. Maybe in the late 80s, or the early 80s, but...
The Carolina Hurricanes?
Oh, yeah. Well,
They're the same team.
Nope. How is Hartford, Carolina? You know what? I'm not even going down this path, all right? We are a video game show. We don't talk about hockey.
Yes. Okay.
You can listen to Critical Stick, which is an all hockey podcast. Critical sticking. No, that just sounds perverted.
Yeah, might as well just call it critical fisting, Josh.
I would go critical fisting. Yep. Critical puck. Anyway, we're all over the place. All right, so, sir. Well, actually, not sir. Listeners of the show.
Where the fuck are you going with this?
I don't know. I'm all over the place today. Listeners of the show, let me tell you one thing right now, though. This is going to have a lot of WoW talk. So, if you don't care about that, go listen to some other stupid show that sucks. All right?
Like the PS nerds.
For your FYI, you can go listen to the PS nerds, all right? Because they
Just
suck.
joking. I love you, Pete Todd. I'm just joking.
No, he doesn't, Pete. He hates you. And I hate you, too. So, sir.
Yes.
December 7th.
December 7th.
We had
day that will live in infamy.
Yeah, we had our worlds turned upside down.
Well, technically we had our worlds turned upside down 2-3 weeks prior to that. But it really counted on December 7th.
Yeah, December 7th was the day that it all ended.
Just despite the fact that shattering happened 2 or 3 weeks before that.
Right, semantics. Anyway, I hate you. So we both got Cataclysm on December 7th, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
I actually had mine before you did.
Yeah.
I was on Cataclysm before you. Just wanted to put that out there.
Actually, I was on Cataclysm before you because I was in the beta.
I was in the final product before you.
Actually, you weren't because I was in the beta, which had the final product about a month before it came out.
Oh my god, Josh. After its official release, I had it before you.
All right. So we both got it on December 7th. I got the collector's edition. You did the downloadable route, right?
Yep.
Okay. And what was the experience with that? Because that is kind of a big test for Blizzard.
I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was run WoW, and it did everything for me. It was already installed, because that's what it's been doing for the last 3 weeks.
Now, one of the biggest concerns was when people were doing the downloadable system, they weren't sure if they were getting the cutscenes or not, because initially they were not.
I got quite a few cutscenes.
Okay, so you did get all the cinematics.
As far as I know. I might have been missing something, but I think I got all the cutscenes.
That's good. So you did the downloadable route.
Yep.
You got all the cutscenes.
I did.
It was pretty seamless.
Yeah, I literally just ran WoW as usual, and I just went to character creation. It's like, oh, goblins and working are now available. I guess I don't have to do anything.
Yeah. So what was the very first thing that you did once you installed Cataclysm?
I hopped onto Utters, and I went to... Oh, this is what pissed me off. So I got the thing that's like, hey, maybe you should go see some people.
Garage.
Look at this cutscene. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. So I did the thing where Thrall talks to you.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was just using my PC speakers. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I can't hear anything. So I put in my headset, which is the USB guy. And then the sound cut out because it wouldn't change from the speakers to the headset, but it turned off the normal speakers, so I didn't get to see Thrall talk to me. And I was like, oh, so sad. And then I didn't realize I had the choice of going to either Vashir or Hyjal.
Yeah.
So I went to Vashir.
So the way that they did it was, like in Wrath of the Lich King, they had two kind of starting zones that you can go to. One of them being Hyjal, which was very important in the lore of Warcraft 3. I mean, that's where the Tree of Life is, and basically the entire game concluded. And then you had...
the first game.
Hmm?
The first game?
Yeah.
Not the
3.
expansion.
Well, and then Wrath of the Lich King ended there, too. Or not Wrath of the Lich King. Frozen Throne.
Did it?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played it.
So you had that, and then you had Vashir. Vashir, I was very worried about. Because
I did not know it was going to be completely underwater.
Well, yeah, it's the Naga area.
Well,
And
they had the Naga area when it kind of rose out of the ground, and they're all slithering around there.
well, I'll tell you what, I was very concerned over Vashir because, in my opinion, no game has ever really done underwater very well. I mean, let us not remember, or let us not forget the the water temple in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Let us not forget every water temple in every Zelda ever.
Yeah, okay, so water levels are really tough to do. But I have to say, I'm very impressed with Vashj'ir.
Mainly because Blizzard made it a not water level.
They did.
And they also helped by getting a seahorse mount.
Yeah, but that is so trivial to me because it's like I have aquatic
It's 410 speed, Josh. 410 speed. That's fast.
My aquatic form goes pretty much the same speed underwater.
I thought it only went 50%.
Yeah, but it stacks with the other the 50% that you get from the sea legs. So I'm going fast.
You're only going 200%.
It's fast enough, Kyle.
It's half as fast as the fast that I'm going.
It doesn't seem as fast. I have it, but I don't use it. It's so much better just to hit that one little button, turn into a whatever the underwater form is, and take off. Sea lion? Is that what it is?
Sea cow.
Yeah, sea cow. I'm not a cow.
It just says aquatic form. It doesn't give you a name to it anymore.
Yeah. So you went to Vashj'ir.
Yep.
I went to Hyjal. And what was your initial impressions of Vashj'ir?
Well, first you hop on the ship right by Orgrimmar and you sail into it, and then you get attacked by a kraken. And I was like, holy shit, that's a kraken! And then the kraken fucks your shit up. And then you spend your starting area is like the bottom broken shell of another ship that happened to turn upside down, so there's a little pocket of air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, it's so awesome.
Yeah, it is really cool.
And then this guy's like, hey, give me 3 starfish and a conch shell, and I can make you breathe underwater somehow. I'm like, I don't know how you're going to do that, tentacle face man, but I'll do it for you.
Fucking MacGyver.
So then he does it, and then all these... What confuses me is all the little towns that you find in Vashj'ir are little caverns that have enough oxygen in them to support people.
Oh my god, you're gonna Spock out on Cataclysm.
But I'm just like,
you're gonna
how many of these can you find?
You're gonna fucking go Spock on Cataclysm.
I'm just saying what I thought. Then I'm like, whatever. And this is the second time... Well, this is the first time I've gotten an expansion that day. I got Burning Crusade, I think, within the week. And I didn't get Wrath of the Lich King until a few months after. So this was really the first time where it was 50,000 people trying to do the same quest as you.
Yeah.
And then it eventually just devolved into, okay, I'm going to camp at this one spot where this guy's going to spawn, and I'm just going to fuck everybody else, and I'm going to kill that one guy by hitting tab and 3 really quick.
Yep. It's fun.
It was fun, and then I got on, and then I saw that Brandon had also got on. I got it that day, so like, oh. So then we started doing quests together, and we killed Naws, aka Jaws. And it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so crazy that it's underwater. And then I did that underwater instance.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
The heroic, or no, well, it's not a heroic yet, but yeah.
I can't do heroic yet. I forgot what the temple's called, but it's the one that's vaguely similar to Lord Jabu Jabu's belly in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Where you gotta kind of attack the squid so you can remove the tentacles so you can progress further into the temple. And it was really hard. And it took 40 fucking minutes for me to get into that dungeon.
Well, here's the thing, okay?
Not everybody has it, and not everybody has it unlocked.
Yeah, but as for the difficulty, you're going to find that the Cataclysm beginning instances are very hard. You're going to wipe on them a lot. I
know, because you don't have gear, because all of my epics that took me months to collect were immediately rendered null and void by a quest green. And that was so sad.
It's not just the gear, though. They actually have, like, raid-type events within them. Like, you're going to find that they're hard.
Yeah.
They've kind of raised the difficulty level on that a little bit, which I actually really appreciate.
It's also sad because now my gear score, which was pretty decent before, is now atrocious, and I could only... I can only get into that one dungeon because my gear score is too low for the other ones.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for replacing all your shit with greens.
No, actually, those item levels are significantly higher.
They're only 272. What were you in before?
I had like 251. Now there's items like the greens that I got are 300 and something.
Your initial one shouldn't have been that much better. If you're what, level 81?
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been that much better.
I'm gonna go check right now. Don't open Steam. Fuck. I want you to open up Chrome.
This is why you don't do things like that while you're doing a podcast,
Well,
Kyle.
I'm sorry, Josh. Now I'm gonna go to the armory and prove you wrong.
Well, the item levels are higher, but stats-wise, they're not. Like, it depends if you're equipping them just because they have mastery, which is one of the worst stats they've ever added, then that's dumb.
No, I'm not equipping them because they have mastery. I'm equipping them because they have like 400 agility on them.
But no, I'm going to talk about Highjaw while you're wasting your time. Highjaw,
Yeah.
you go in, and it's kind of cool seeing all these old characters again that you haven't seen since Warcraft 3, like Cenarius and Ysera. There's just a bunch of cool, like, little nerdgasm things that you would end up paying attention to if you knew the initial games.
Yeah.
It is very lore heavy, and it's kind of cool that Ragnaros has set up shop in Highjaw. So a lot of it is you're fighting elementals.
That was funny when I eventually did venture over to Highjaw, and that opening cinematic, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah. So you get all of that, and like there's even a Molten Core boss within Highjaw.
Ah, that's who that guy is.
Who?
Fuck, I can't remember.
Baron Geddon or whatever his name is?
No, not Baron. Is it Baron Geddon?
Well, one of the quests is Baron Geddon is sitting there, and what he does is he puts living bombs on people, so he turns you into a bomb. And in Molten Core, your entire raid team will be fighting him, and your melee people will be randomly turned into a bomb, and you had to run to a specific spot and blow up, or else he would kill the rest of your team. And so he's sitting there, and he's pumping away, and you're attacking him, and he turns you into a living bomb. And I was in a party at the time, and I wasn't paying attention because I wasn't expecting it, and I killed the entire party. And I did not feel bad at all.
Yeah, he turned me into a bomb when I killed him, and I ran to a group of other people, but it did not kill them.
Yeah, you weren't in a party.
That was sad.
So, Highjaw is fucking beautiful. That is one thing I have to say, like, between Vashir, because I'm in Vashir now, but Highjaw is fucking beautiful. Just the detail on everything, and the environment, and I like the new looks of the elementals that they have.
But I didn't notice any new looks.
Yeah, the elementals have new looks. What they did is they have like this rib. I even watched on the behind the scenes DVD. The way that they wanted to make elementals look different, they wanted to make it look like they were enslaved. So they have these like rib cages on them that allows the bad people to control them, and so they have a whole new look to them rather than like your swirly air elemental type thing.
Yeah.
Now it's just like air flying everywhere with a rib cage in the middle of it. It looks really cool. It's kind of hard to describe.
I'll air Ella.
You are fucking terrible.
Well, I want to know. I want to know what you're talking about, Josh.
So
I want to picture it. It would help if I spelled air elemental.
This is the worst show ever.
You're the worst show ever.
So, my favorite thing that I've done in Highjaw so far is there's this one quest where you have to save some cubs out of a burning tree. And so you climb up the tree and you grab the cub, baby bear. And then there's a fucking
Trampoline?
There's a trampoline that you actually have to like aim at, and then you throw the cub out of the tree onto the trampoline. And it looks so fucking hilarious because you're just sitting there in this tree and you're holding a cub, and then you just launch it like you're throwing a baseball from the outfield to the home plate. And this cub just goes flying, and then it bounces off and lands on the ground. I felt so bad, but at the same time, it felt so good to throw baby bears. And it just made me... I just wanted for some reason to yell, "Shake that bear!"
You're a terrible person.
Yeah, I am. That was one of my favorite quests to do, and I mean, it's the things like that that I really appreciate in Cataclysm so far, because there's a lot of humor in it, but it's also very lore heavy. But they're definitely mixing it up quite a bit. I don't know if you've noticed that as much in Vashj'ir. Like, I've done most of Vashj'ir so far, and I'm not really seeing it as much.
I haven't seen a lot in Vashj'ir in terms of lore, and I haven't really gotten to. I've only done, I think, maybe 20 quests in Hyjal.
Well, my favorite quest in Vashj'ir so far is you have to go and kill some like squid type things, and then they tell you to put it on your head. So you do that, and all of a sudden they're like, "That's a terrible head crab," which is a nod to Half-Life. And then your guy's freaking out because he's got a living crab or squid on his head, and all the guys are just running around like, "Oh my god, get away from him, he's gonna eat us, blah blah blah," and they're freaking out, and the guy's like, "Just stand tall." It was awesome. I don't know.
I have not done that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely for. Well, you're level 81, I'm 83. I've kind of did what I expected to do with this game. Ignore everybody and just level. But the greatest thing that I've done at all is you have to team up with Cenarius, and you fight Ragnaros head on in Hyjal.
What?
Yeah, because what happens is a lot of it is the elementals have been forced back to their plane, right?
Mm.
So you team up with Cenarius and a couple of other ones, and you actually fight Ragnaros in Hyjal to drive him back into the elemental plane.
Huh.
And it was such a cool quest, because one, it reminded me of the Molten Core fight, but two, anytime that you can go up against a big bad raid boss early on is just such a cool experience, because Ragnaros is fucking huge. He's got a lot of powers, and it makes you feel important within the game. Like you're actually progressing rather than just go kill 2 monsters and bring me their guts, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff like that within this game that you're seeing, where you're actually... The leveling feels more important now than it did, like, in Wrath of the Lich King. Wrath of the Lich King was go here, kill this, go here, kill that, go here, gather that, blah, blah, blah. The typical fashion of what you would expect in an MMO. And I'm not saying Cataclysm doesn't have that type of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, most of the stuff I've done for Cataclysm so far has essentially been that.
Yeah. Well, it also depends on where you level. Vashj'ir, I've noticed that it's more of the old style, where Hyjal is more, you have that stuff, but there's also a lot of stuff that makes you feel more important, and the experience is a lot better. But Vashj'ir is fucking beautiful, too.
Yeah, it is.
Have you noticed that big whale swimming around that's like the size of...
The one that I've been avoiding because it's level boss.
It's level boss and it's fucking gigantic. Yeah, I actually flew into it. Or I swam into it.
Did it kill you?
No, it doesn't aggro.
Oh. Did you see those monstrous, like, I guess squid things?
No.
In the 2 other areas of Vashj'ir?
Not yet.
Have you seen those mountains with spikes on them?
I've seen a couple.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a squid.
No shit.
There's 2 of them.
I'm gonna have to post some pictures, but the level of detail in Vashj'ir is just amazing.
I really like how they just upped the general graphic look of WoW. It definitely looks like a much better game than it did, 6 years ago.
The water levels look beautiful, and the general environments look beautiful. Like, now that we can fly, are you happy with the way they handle flying this time?
Yeah, you only had to pay 250 gold if your rep was high enough.
Yeah.
As opposed to 4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm much happier about that.
Even though, like, I already have, like, 5,000 just from doing the Hyjal quest. I mean, money is so easy to get right now.
I know, they're giving you, like, 7 gold a pop, and everything that they give you is worth 20 or 25. I mean, I started with, I think, 1,200 after I, spent all my money upping my gear, and I think I did 2 nights of questing, and I'm up to 1,800.
Mm-hmm. So do you have anything that you don't like so far?
The queues to get into a goddamn instance as DPS. like 40 minutes to an hour is way too goddamn long.
Yeah,
There are times where I forget that I'm in the queue and it pops up. I'm like, what the fuck? When did I do this?
But that has nothing to do with the expansion.
I know. It has to do with the people.
Yeah, like I'm asking you, do you have anything that you don't like about the expansion? You're going, oh man, I have to be in a queue for 40 minutes.
Well, that is technically something about the expansion.
No, because I was in Wrath of the Lich King as well.
It took me like 10 minutes tops to get into an expansion on the same server.
And you had like 5 times the amount of people that were of level to do it. So do you have anything with the actual expansion you don't like?
Nothing that I can really complain about that you couldn't complain about in the original game.
Like?
Yet. Well, it's a lot of the same, kill quests, gather quests, follow quests.
Do Hyjal.
Well, I've started doing Hyjal. But nothing that I can really point out is this is a dumb idea.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, there's a lot of different quests that I've noticed, and like the whole you haven't done it yet, so it's hard to say, like, because you've really limited yourself. I mean, you did like 5 quests in Hyjal and then went into fucking or you did 5 quests in Vashir and then went to right to Hyjal. So it's like,
well, I did like the entire I did one entire area, and I moved on to the next like discoverable area in Vashir, and then I went to Hyjal.
Yeah, you've really limited yourself. Like, the first parts of these zones don't have anything cool.
Oh, well, I guess I should start playing more then.
Yeah, you suck. You're the worst co-host ever. I'm going back to what I said last week. He's the worst co-host ever.
That's not nice.
I mean, in Vashir, there's a whole line where you could... They call it the visions of the past. So you turn into a Naga, and you're seeing it from their perspective of what happened ages ago. And then you act as one of the Naga, getting them to cooperate and to attack these people, blah, blah, blah. That's a really cool quest line. I was doing that last night.
It does sound really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go back to Vashir and start leveling again.
I think that you've really cut your balls off in this expansion, sir.
Probably. I'm
trying to do as much as possible. Like, everybody's like, well, why did you go to Vashir as soon as you hit 82? Because, once you finish Hyjal, you're supposed to go to, like, Deep Home or Uldum, right?
Uh-huh.
I went from Hyjal to Vashir because I want to see everything. Like, even after I'm 85, I'm going to go to the other zones and do all the quests because I want to see them.
That makes sense. I was planning on doing that anyway.
Yeah, well, there's just so many cool things to see. I have no complaints about this whatsoever so far. It is exactly what I wanted. I feel great when I finish a quest, even if it's, go here, kill 5 things. It's just, everything is so satisfying. So, that's all I really have to say about it. Because you really don't have shit because you didn't play it.
Well, I've been running the dungeons, and they're pretty awesome. Well, I've been running the dungeon, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, how do you feel about the way they changed that? That you have to unlock them?
It makes sense. I mean, before...
Well, I really like it because you have to discover it rather than just having it in a list and you go right into it.
Yeah.
Except I have a bug with it.
How do you have a bug with it?
The dungeon that's in Hyjal, I did every quest that's in Hyjal, right?
Uh-huh.
And I even walked right up to the gate of the dungeon, and it never unlocked for me.
Did you go into the dungeon?
You can't because there's a gate blocking it. Like, there's supposed to be a trigger that raises that gate so you can go into it, and it never triggered for me.
Huh, that's odd. Maybe I should go check it out. Where is it?
It's much, much later in Hyjal.
Well, that didn't stop me from immediately trying to figure out where that other instance was.
Alright, well, it's kind of hard to miss. It's a big fucking spot that looks like it's on fire on the map.
Oh, okay.
It's Sulfuron Spire.
Interesting.
Basically, Ragnaros is there, and there's a quest where you do a flyby on Ragnaros. And I'm sitting there doing, like, permission to buzz the tower.
You do a strafing run on Ragnaros?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like, there's
What did you drop, like, a water balloon on him?
No. It was just showing you, like, where he is, blah, blah, blah. And, like, in the final quest in Hyjal, you go into a little sanctuary for Ragnaros, and you're like, we have to deactivate all these things before he shows up, blah, 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 that we can send him back to the elemental plane. And he shows up, and he's like, too soon.
Does he?
No.
But I know that's what he says in the dungeon.
But he's very mad that you're there. And then Scenario starts fighting him. But yeah, no complaints here. I'm very, very satisfied with it. I mean, the game, the graphics, the detail, everything. I noticed Nancy's been playing Worgen a lot.
Yeah, she has.
What you think about that? Do you know?
She's having a good time.
Have you checked out Worgen or Goblin?
I have like a level 8 Worgen.
What do you
She's named Yiffany. And I was very pleased with that name. Dear God. I'm like, I need a name for this Worgen. It's got to be like something poking funny, like at the furries, and like Yiffany.
I'm surprised that was allowed.
I'm surprised it wasn't taken already.
Yeah. So you've done. Oh man, you should have seen a lot of phasing and stuff then too already. Yeah.
Well, I partied up with Nance, and it took us like 2 hours to finally get into a phase that we were both in. Because I was like a few quests ahead of her.
The phasing is awesome.
It is. It's a really good time.
Like, in the Goblin area, you'll be running around. I don't know who I was talking to at the time. I might have been on Ventrilo. No, I was on Skype with somebody. But they were leveling a Goblin, and they're like, "Oh man, this place looks stupid." Blah blah. I said, "Well, pay attention to certain areas. Like in the Goblin starting zone, there's a pool that's like filled with oil, and it's all disgusting, and there's trash all over the place. And as you level, it gets cleaner and cleaner. And then once you get to a certain point, there's like people are swimming in it, they're having a party and all this other stuff. But then if you look out into the environment, you see a volcano starting to become active." So it's like details like that like as you progress, the world is changing with you. And that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's nifty. I like that.
Like the Worgen ones are really cool. Because you'll see like alliance ships coming up towards, or horde ships coming up towards the bay as you level. And you totally didn't notice that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Kyle fail number 2. Actually, this might be number 10 because you didn't play the expansion.
Whatever, Josh.
All right,
Whatever.
So I think that's enough of gasming over Cataclysm for now.
Yeah.
Because you really have nothing to say about it.
I had some things.
So, what else have you been up to, sir?
Well, I played...
We're gonna keep this part short and simple. Like, pick one game that's on your list and talk about it.
The only other game on my list.
Pick one game that's on your list and talk about it, and then we'll go into our final part.
Alan Wake, because I got that because I can't use GameFly right because I'm an idiot.
Why don't you tell everybody what you did?
Well, my GameFly queue is made up of games that I want to play. And you guys are like, oh, you probably should play this game. You should play this game. Play this game. Play that game. So I'm like, okay. So I add them to the queue at the top. And Alan Wake is there at the bottom at number 15. So I finally sent Darksiders back. And I got the... It's weird because it didn't give me the notification like, hey, we got Darksiders.
Yeah, I haven't been getting that lately either.
Apparently, once it's been scanned at the post office, they immediately ship the other game. So that's apparently how they've been doing that.
Yeah, I didn't know that they changed it. I thought I had to get to them directly, and then they sent out the other one.
And then I got the text saying, hey, we just shipped Alan Wake. I'm like, fuck. I really wanted to play that game. I still do. But there were other games I wanted to play.
Yeah, what was the game that you were hoping? Need for Speed.
Need for Speed, because you're like, oh my god, Need for Speed this, and this, and this, and this, and we're all pedophiles. I'm like,
Wait.
all right.
Yeah, well, no, I was a Butterfinger stealer.
Oh, that's right. Pete was the pedophile.
I was the thief of the Butterfinger.
Pedo Pete, as they call him.
Yeah, Pedo Pete and Genocide James.
That's good. I like that.
Thank you.
But yeah, it shipped me that. I'm like, fuck. But I really wanted to play it, so it wasn't all that bad. And it's a good game because
whoa.
What?
Remember, on Twitter, Mr. Billy Bill Black said that you will not like that game.
And it's a mystery game and it's a survival horror game, and I really like both of those types of games. And it's also doing something else that other games have not been able to do. Every time I try to Vulcan out on it, it says something literally right after I have that thought that puts me at ease. So you're wandering around in the middle of the woods and you find like all of these generators with lights hooked up to it. And I'm like, how many more of these fucking things am I going to find? They're just not leaving generators and electrical lights in the middle of the woods. And like not 2 minutes after that, the guy's like, I couldn't believe I kept finding all of these things in the woods. It just didn't make any sense. I'm like, huh, that's
like,
weird.
You're telepathic. You know what I'm thinking.
And then, for some reason, you're running away from the cops for, like, I don't know, the better part of the beginning of the game. And every time you do, you conveniently find a cliff to roll off of and escape the cops. I'm like, how many cliffs is this guy going to roll off of to escape the cops? It doesn't make any sense. And right after he rolls out, like, right after that, it went, it feels like I've been rolling over cliffs all night. I'm like, oh. Alan
man,
Wake,
there's no more cliffs. What am I going to do?
I know. Alan Wake, you're actually not making sense, but doing it at the same time.
He's self-aware.
Yeah, it's self-aware, and it's been placating my, what's that word?
Knack for being a jackass?
Knack for tearing apart games in a logical point of view. And then there's this whole thing, and like, there's all this other shit going on. I'm like, okay, I will weather this out. You have kept my interest, and at the same time, prevented me from being an asshole. So, Alan Wake, you have earned my respect for now. So, I'll probably see that game through to the end.
No, what do you, like, have you gotten to the part where it becomes like a little horror bit? Or, where like you have to use the light to keep away things and all that other shit?
You do that right from the very beginning.
Oh, do you?
That's something I wanted to talk about. In the beginning of the game, he's thinking like, oh my god, I have to be crazy. I'm shining light at things and I'm shooting them. And all I could think was, it would be totally awesome if he was just schizophrenic and he just had a terrible schizophrenic episode. And he's just murdering people for no reason.
Wow. Yeah. That would be interesting, actually.
Like, it would make sense because he's talking about, in the beginning of the game, I don't know, you're talking to this light source and he gives you this mission and you're like, this is kind of what happens when someone goes all schizo and they get this, what the hell's the term? Delusions of grandeur. And he thinks he has this will from God and he's shining the light to take the evil out of people and then he kills them. Like, yeah, that's what people with mental disorders do.
Yeah.
And maybe he just snapped and started murdering people. And that's how I viewed like the first 2 hours of the game, and it made it so much better.
That's good though. I'm glad that you're enjoying it because like I figured that I thought it was funny that Billy's like, oh, Kyle's not gonna like this, and I was like, but Kyle's been kind of excited for that game.
I have been.
I mean, this is like right up his alley.
I'm really glad I finally got it too.
Yeah, you love like suspense and horror.
And so far, it's been doing those. It's been doing this. It's not really doing either of those things particularly well at the moment, but it's keeping me interested and intrigued, and I keep thinking about questions, and it's answering them. So it's doing things pretty well.
Do you think that you're going to pick up the DLC for it? Because I heard that it's pretty good.
We'll see. Most likely not.
Oh, really?
Well, it depends on how many of those Xbox Live reward things I can rack up. Get some points.
All right. So, Alan Wake is a go?
Yeah, you should definitely unwrap it and try it out.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You remember that I have it.
You've mentioned, every time I've mentioned Alan Wake, you're like, yeah, it's sitting right next to me. It's still all wrapped up. Maybe you should just put it in there.
Maybe. One day. If I'm feeling frisky.
All right. So what's one game that you have been up to, Josh?
Oh, man. I don't know if I should talk about Gran Turismo 5 or Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. What do you think?
I don't know.
All right, I'll go with Gran Turismo 5.
Okay.
I'm going to start off by saying I am not a hardcore simulator fan. Like, I don't gasm out about it like a lot of other people do.
Okay.
I like the games, but like they get really hardcore, and that's not something that I notice. Like everybody's coming up with a list of things that they don't like about the game, and I'm just like, but it's really cool to drive around. And they're like, but this is wrong and this is wrong and they should have done this, and I'm just like, I have a really fast car. So I am not like a expert on this type of game. Like I never played the Forzas, I never played the previous Gran Turismos. I just got this because, you know, I can race around with our group and have fun.
Uh-huh.
With that said, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It is a it is a gorgeous, gorgeous game, and yeah, it has its faults. The interface is like using a Windows 3.11 machine. Like,
Yeah, I heard Billy and Pete complaining quite a bit about it.
yeah, like it's almost like you're using Windows but with the controller. So you have like a mouse pointer and you're scrolling through the options, and then you have to like hit the close button to go to the next window. It's really weird, but for some reason it's also really, I don't know, it's cute for some reason. Like I'm just like, this is so antiquated, but yet I like it.
If this is so inept.
Yeah, but you know, the menu system aside, this is one of the best looking games I've seen. Like the level of detail on a lot of the cars, like they have two different styles of cars. They have standard and they have premium. Premium was built within Gran Turismo 5, and standard is kind of like an up-res version of the car from Gran Turismo 4.
Okay.
So people are like nitpicking that to death. Like, the shadows don't look right on this type of car, blah, 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 because it's a standard car. That's bullshit. They should have built us this car in Gran Turismo 5. And I'm just like, but it goes really fast.
Yeah, I'm not a particularly large car nut.
Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of that stuff falls on deaf ears with me. Like, the environments look fucking crazy good. Like, that one track that we raced, we did go-kart racing because it has go-karts in it. And we did it on some track in Tokyo. And there's so much fucking detail, like, on the buildings and the track and all this other shit. It just looks so fucking good, dude. Like, I actually took my PS3 off my standard definition TV and plugged it into my HD TV to see what it would look like. And it is fantastic. Like, oh, dude, like, the rain levels are insane. Like, because they have, you know, snow and rain as well. And you can have, you know, cockpit views type things. And, so you press in the R3 button and you turn on your windshield wipers. And I'm sitting there driving in the rain and I can't see a fucking thing. But for some reason I was loving it. I don't know, it's just a really cool game. Like, yeah, it has all these problems and the AI might not be that good and everything, but we've had a blast with it. Like, we did a race last Friday where all of us were kind of picking these overpowered cars and just having a lot of fun. And I got to the point where I picked the wrong tire, so I was sliding all over the place because, you know, this game is uber hardcore and you have to pick the correct tire to be able to race correctly. So I was sliding all over the place and I got a little bit frustrated. And I was like, I'm just going to park over here and talk to you guys. But the track had like this section where you go around in a circle and then you come out the other side off of a jump type thing.
Uh-huh.
And I waited for everybody else to go by, and then I parked myself horizontally in the middle of the circle. And then I waited for Bill to come. So Bill flies into me, and he goes off in the middle of nowhere, and I laughed for like 20 minutes straight. And by the time I finally calmed down, all of a sudden Bill comes flying from the other side, like he turned around and came back at me. He's like, all I hear is, "You motherfucker," and he fucking nailed me. And while that's not funny every race, because, you know, you want to have a serious race every once in a while as well.
Yeah.
It is fun to just mess around in this game. The go-karts are hilarious. I'm really good at the go-karts, actually. That's like the one thing that I'm good at with this game. I will kick anybody's ass with the go-karts. And they handle like go-karts, and they're just fun to watch. But yeah, Gran Turismo 5 was definitely worth the money that I spent on it, just for the fun factor we've had online. I mean, yeah, it has the A-Spec and the B-Spec modes, as they call it. Like, A-Spec is you're progressing through all the races on your own, and you're the driver. B-Spec is you're progressing through the game and all the races with a hired driver. So you tune and pick the car, and somebody races for you. So, like, that guy is earning levels while you're getting the money. So, like, I can be sitting here playing Cataclysm with B-Spec running, just earning money in the game, which is fucking awesome.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Did you buy the wheel like everybody else did?
I did not. No, I thought about it, but one, I don't really have a spot to put it, and two, I'm not that hardcore into it. Like, I give this game like another 2-3 weeks for me, and then I'm over it. Like, at one point, I was already pretty much over it.
Uh-huh.
I even tweeted like, "Oh man, I really don't have that much interest in this anymore," and I was gonna sell it to a coworker. But then we played it online, and I was like, I'm gonna keep this again. So I don't foresee me going that much further into it, except for just having the fun online nights, because I'm not as good as they are. They're taking it like to the whole, like basically this is Street Fighter. Like I'm up here and they're down here. Well, in Gran Turismo 5, I'm like as low as you can get, and they're like Chipoco.
Oh, so you're like me and Chipoco.
Yeah. But either way, it's just a lot of fun to mess around and like tune the cars and just have fun. And that's all I'm viewing it as. I'm not viewing it as like, this is a real driving simulator and I'm gonna, slow down to a specific speed just so I can go around this corner without squealing my tire. You know what I'm saying, sir?
Not really, because were I in that position, I would be blazing around that corner as fast as I could go.
Yeah, but then you would just get out and hit the wall.
And if were that the case, I would make sure that there was... Oh, shit. Cans started falling. I was stacking cans. And
good job.
I misplaced a can and they fell.
All right.
But were that me, I would just probably bounce off another car.
Well, that's what everybody else does too, yeah. Because in Gran Turismo, like, the damage physics are not correct, so you can just bounce off a car and whip around a corner. And I was like, okay. Well, they should fix that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is like so 1994. And I said, all right. But look, I'm driving really fast.
I'm driving really fast in a nice car.
Yeah, I mean...
Something that I can't really do.
I can't mock the people for getting that hardcore into it, because I have my things that I go all nerdy about with that. And I appreciate that they're doing that. It's just not for me,
Yeah, same with me. I mean, I get upset over the similar things, i.e. realism in games.
And there are a lot of complaints that are valid. I mean, this game was in development for like 6 years, that there's things that should have been fixed and things that should have been changed, but I'm not the type of person that can get all anal about it. So Gran Turismo 5, I really like it. I hope that we have some more fun with it.
Wait, isn't this the game that they sold like the beta of to fund the game?
Well, what they do is, with pretty much every Gran Turismo, I think up until 3, what they've done is they released Gran Turismo Prologue, which is kind of like a halfway point where it's like, okay, the game is at X point, we're going to show you guys what we have. And they sell it for like $20 to $40. They've always done that.
Oh, okay.
And people just eat it up because they love these types of games. Like, they've always been exceptionally popular. I don't know why, but they are. Fucking nerds. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to go talk about Cataclysm some more.
Hooray!
No.
It's the cheap funk era, funked out with a gay twist.
Regulators. We regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Regulators! Mama.
It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the E, so I could get some phones. Rolling in my ride, chilling all alone.
Just hit the east side of the LBC on a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G. Seen a car full of girls, ain't no need to tweak. All of you skirts know what's up with 213.
So I hooked a left on 21 and Lewis. Some brothers shooting dice, so I said, let's do this. I jumped out the ride and said, what's up? Some brothers pulled some gas, so I said, I'm stuck.
We wanted to do our top 5 games of the year, because this is probably going to be the last time we record for the year.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, well, we got Christmas coming up and all that other horse shit. So we're going to get that out of the way now. And sir, what are your top 5 games of 2010?
My top 5 games in no particular order. We're going to start off with Mass Effect 2. I really like Mass Effect 2. It's fun. The DLC, there's many of it. Well, there's like 4 pieces of it. As far as I understand, they're all very good. I started playing one not too long ago. and I had to stop because I would have been sucked back in, and then I've been playing Mass Effect 2 for a while.
Well, that's not bad. I mean, if
No,
you enjoy
it's not
it.
a bad thing. I really like the game, but it's a huge time sink because there's just so much shit to do,
Yeah.
and there's so much stuff, like so much information that BioWare provides you with. And you're like, oh man, this is so interesting. This like detailed history of a 60,000-year-old galactic race. Oh my god, I have to learn it all.
Terrible.
But I had to prevent myself from doing that again.
So basically, Mass Effect to you is like Warcraft for me.
Yeah, it is.
Fair
And
enough.
You should at least play the second one, Josh.
Never gonna happen.
Even though it's sci-fi, it is significantly better than the first one.
It's never gonna happen.
Even if it's on the PS3.
Even if it's on the PS3. Unless, if somebody bought it for me and sent it to me, I might play it for like 5 minutes. But it's not gonna happen. I can't get into BioWare games where it's just Quake with a dialogue tree. I can't do it.
Fair enough. I guess you're just not into lore-heavy games.
No, I hate lore-heavy games. If it's lore that I care about, yes, but I don't care about intergalactic battles and...
So if they pretty much did a find and replace and found and replaced all of these sci-fi words, you'd probably be into it.
No, because it's still a sci-fi environment.
Well, they just switched that to make it a fantasy game, Josh.
Well, I didn't play Dragon Age either, did I?
Those are different games.
It's still the same premise. I mean, it's
difficult.
BioWare games aren't exactly any different.
They are, though. Dragon Age was the traditional... Dragon Age was a Knights of the Old Republic clone.
Okay, with fantasy.
With fantasy. Mass Effect 2 wasn't.
Either way, I'm not going to play it.
Mass Effect 2 was like a better implemented version of Jade Empire.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to play it.
Okay. Second game is Super Street Fighter 4.
Oh man, the year I turned Kyle around.
It's the first fighting game that I actually cared about. It's the first fighting game that I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and be good at this. And it's really the first fighting game that I've ever had any fun with. And I look forward to playing it more often this winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to get better.
Hell yeah, we had a lot of fun with this game.
It's a fun game. It's really fun. And it looks really cool. I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. It's fun and cool looking.
I just like that, like, years ago, you gave me so much shit for playing Street Fighter as much as I did. And you would tell me that they're all the same, blah, blah, blah.
Well, they might be all the same, but you've opened my eyes, Josh. Now I can see why you enjoy them so much.
Yep. See that? I'm always right. I'm the best around.
Because there's nothing about a boxer with an English accent who beats the shit out of a guy who screams like a monkey.
All right, so yeah, I'm surprised that's that high up on your list too.
Well, no particular order, Josh.
But see, I also base it off of fun factor, like how much time you had fun with it. And
yeah,
we had a lot of fun with it. I mean, Nerd Weekend, you guys played it for about 8 hours in a cabin.
Yeah. Holy shit, we did.
Yeah.
I can't wait for next Nerd Weekend when we actually have a TV.
So that was pretty awesome that you put that on there.
Yep. Probably another surprising one is Mag. It's a newcomer.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I have a really good time playing it, and I'm glad you guys are like, well, probably Pete more so than you guys were like, hey, this is a fun game. You go around.
Well, I think Pete sold all of us on it at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, they really did improve the game, because I heard horror stories from when it first came out, and when I finally went into it, it's like, really? People were complaining about this, but they also really changed the game, and
yeah,
it's awesome.
And I look forward to playing with you because they fixed the money thing, and now you could actually afford things.
Yeah, that is a big improvement. I'm very, very interested in it now. I mean, I loved it before too, but it got frustrating at a time when you couldn't afford shit because you're actually doing the killing.
Yeah, maybe you should have stuck with my job But now...
I can't be a pussy, Kyle.
Well, you just have to kill more people, Josh. I mean,
I
that's
can't
all
be
you
a
have to
coward.
do. You have to get the medals. It's
I
all
can't
about
be a
the
coward.
ribbons.
I
It's
can't
about
be
the
a
ribbons.
I can't be a coward who sits behind with a wrench.
Well, I fix your shit, Josh. That's my job.
Coward.
Whatever. My fourth game is Minecraft.
Wow.
Yeah, it's AKA the game that you're like, maybe I should play this for a little bit. 9
Well-
hours later, oh, fuck.
Again,
What the
Nerd
fuck just
Weekend.
happened?
Nerd Weekend. Pete and I spent like 10 minutes just nailing you with information about the game, and the one thing that finally took you to get it was when we said Legos.
Yeah, I mean, that was the key word. It's just Legos. I'm like, I'm in. Fuck it. And really, it's probably one of the better purchases that I've made gaming-wise this year.
Mhm.
And now that they've added Notch has added so much more shit to it, I'm probably going to get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, the single player, the multiplayer experience is basically identical to the single player now, minus the Hell World stuff, which I don't really care about. But
Do the trains finally work?
I believe so.
Oh, goddamn, finally. We could actually make a mass transit system. I popped onto the server. I'll probably mess around with that a little more tonight.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. Definitely game of the year worthy.
And my last game would be Cataclysm.
Which you only play for 5 minutes.
I've played it a lot longer than that, Josh. I've been playing it for the last 3 weeks. It's just it finally got the official thing. It's a game that pretty much remade a game I've been playing for the last 6 years, and now it's more than a facelift. It's almost a completely different game now. Just the way that everything has changed from what it is to what it is now. What it was to what it is now.
Yep, definitely.
And those are my top 5 games.
You know what, though?
What?
I'm actually happy that this year you have 5 in your top 5.
Yeah, it wasn't like last year, and I'm like, I hate everything. Everything sucks.
Yeah, last year I think, because the fanboys did like a list of what every podcast said. And here I am with 5, and here you are with like 3.
Yeah, it's because last year I'm like, oh man, this game. And then a week later I was like, wow, this game really fucking sucks.
Yeah, so
I hate it.
I think like the top thing of 2010 is the fact that you have a top 5 games of the year.
It honestly took me a while to figure out this list too, because I'm like, I don't like that game. I don't like that game. That game was okay. That one was okay. Nah.
All right.
This was like the year of apathy, and last year was the year of hate.
Right, and next year is going to be the year of happiness.
Apparently, unless it goes back.
No, well, okay, I'm going out with my list. I don't want you to get the chance to be mad.
All right.
I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up.
Okay. Are your games in any particular order?
Not really, but I just like to, go to the first one on the list last, because how we used to do it back in the day.
That's true.
So, number 5 on my top 5 games of 2010 would be 3D Game Heroes.
And I can see that.
Yeah, I adored this game. It had a lot of humor to it. It had the retro style to it, which it had the look and the feel, but it didn't like throw it in your face every 2 seconds. It still played like a newer game. It had a lot of newer ideas, and I don't know, it just everything about this game just screamed awesomeness.
It was the best of new and old.
Yeah, it had the humor, it had the look. I mean, the art style was amazing.
It does look really cool.
Yeah, and like, it is just so awesome. I can't like express enough. I've tried to get so many people to play it, and they just won't. And yeah, I'm gonna have to start removing people off my friends list over that, and just cut contact with them because they are bad people. I'm looking at you, Mick. I don't know. I think that everybody should play it. It was like $40, and during Black Friday you can get it for like $19. It's more than worth anything that you can get it for at this point. So if you haven't played it, check out 3D Game Heroes. If you like Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past and a lot of the older adventure games of that era, you'll probably really love it. I still wait to hear more of you playing it, actually.
Yeah, I definitely have to get back to it. I'm sure I'll be playing it a lot more soon.
Yeah. The second game, or number 4, out of 5 would be White Knight Chronicles. In fact, we based an entire episode on this game.
Yes, you did. And to be honest, I was a little bit surprised that this was on your list, considering how you just stopped playing it.
Well, I think it got to the point where it's like, Billy decided he didn't like it enough anymore. And it wasn't because of any certain thing with the game. It's just, it wasn't his thing. And I kept going with it for a while longer, and I played with other people, you know, from like the Player One podcast boards. And Pete kind of phased off a little bit at that point. But the single player experience was really cool while being generic.
It was pretty generic.
Yeah, it did have a very generic story to it, but the environments were beautiful. The concept behind it was great. You know, you raise this character in a single player game, but you can also take him online, and it had like this whole community system set up, you know, with the message board, the towns that you can build up and people can go into.
Yeah, that was really
buy
neat.
Things, and you can quest out of there. It was just this really cool experience that I can see them building off of and doing more with. Like, you know, I build up my town online, I share it with everybody. People can go in there and buy items, but yet I benefit from it. So like, I sell certain swords or whatever, and obviously the game takes a cut, but like I get some of the money out of people buying things in my town. So it kind of gives you more fuel to do the online experience even more. The online questing was really cool. I mean, you get a quest, you go into it, and then you guys just run through it, you know, and they typically have a boss at the end. So you kill the boss, and then you go get another quest while you have a time limit. So your character's levels would go or carry over from what you do online to the single player as well. So you're benefiting yourself by doing both.
Yeah, but I think the weakness from that is if you play the online way more than you do the single player, you have this one character, which is what happened to me, that's like level 30, and then your party's level 5, and your character's just ruining everything, and the game just kind of gets boring.
I never really thought of it as a hindrance because I played them pretty equally, the online and the single player.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I also grinded a lot in that game because I still have that weird ability where I can do that for hours at end and not get bored with any game. Like, I was like level 30 and Billy was like level 10 because I grinded in this one spot. You know, similar like how I do with 3D Game Heroes. I had the max amount of money because I found a spot where you can just get tons of gold. I don't know, I have that weird knack. But, no, White Knight Chronicles was fantastic, and I pray that they do a sequel on the PS3. I know that they're doing one on the PSP, but I've heard very little things about a PS3 one.
I thought they were making a sequel.
They are for the PSP.
Oh, I saw that. I'm like, well, I didn't see it for the PSP. I just assumed it was for the PS3.
See, some people have told me that there's one coming for the PS3, and I haven't really seen anything for it, but I hope that they do. But number 3 out of 5 would be Civilization 5. Or Civilization V, as I wrote it. Civilization is a game series that I've always loved, and Civilization 4 was one of my favorite games probably within this decade. I absolutely loved it. I spent hours at end with it. So when Civilization 5 came out, I knew it was going to consume me, and within the first week, I probably spent like 13 hours on it. I mean, I played a lot of that game, nonstop. In fact, that delayed a bunch of podcasts because I was supposed to be playing other things, and all I played was Civilization. And I don't. It's just so much fun. It's cool seeing everybody else who I know weren't Civilization fans before. Like, they've heard me talk about it on the show. Like, you know, I talked to Pete and Billy about it, and I talked to Mike about it, and like now they're playing it. So it's just that type of game that I think like people who love detail and handling every little thing within the experience, like, will just go crazy for because you really micromanage everything within the system. It's a cool game. I think that you would like it too.
I probably would like it too, but I'm going to wait until it's a little cheaper.
Yeah, well, that's for different reasons, but it is an awesome experience. I love it. And that's why it's on my top 5 games of the year, because I was really anticipating it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, but after that is probably, I don't know if it's yours, but one of the games I wanted the most within like the last 5 years.
Yeah, I really wanted it too, and then it's StarCraft. I mean, it is.
I didn't
what
even
it
announce
is.
the game yet, and you've already gone out and said it.
Oh,
Look at that. You ruined my top 5 list.
sorry.
I'm canceling the show.
Josh.
All right, so my number 2 would be StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. And it's StarCraft. I mean, 12 years in the making. What can you say? It's I remember Pete and I went crazy over this game around the time that it came out, and all we were saying on like Twitter and everything else was StarCraft. You know, fucking StarCraft. And what was funny is we were playing Minecraft around the same time, so it was really a battle to find time for both. I mean, it got to the point where when we were up at Wares Beach, Pete was actually playing StarCraft up there. You know, we were all sitting here at the picnic tables, and he's killing Zerg. And no, it was a fantastic game. I can't wait for the next expansion, Heart of the Swarm, which I believe is next year. And yeah, I don't know. Like, once again, I didn't dive into the online. I'll only play against the PC with friends. That's the way I've always done it.
Those damn Koreans, they play it so well.
There's really, like, nothing wrong that I could say with the game. It ended in a way that I was kind of shocked, but I really enjoyed. The storyline was great within it, which is typical Blizzard fashion. They have good stories. Yeah, it's just a fantastic game. I can't say enough good about it. I wish that you would play it.
And I will, eventually.
1 year. 1 year. So, my number 1 game of 2010, I don't think that this is a surprise to anybody. And so with that, Minecraft was really good. I spent a long time with it. Wait, what, Kyle? Did I say Minecraft?
What?
Yeah, that's right. I'm mixing it up. I fooled you, didn't I? You're shocked now, aren't you?
I'm very shocked.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
That's not what your list says.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, man.
Because I'm fucking with you. So, Super Street Fighter 4
Oh.
is my number 1.
You're
I totally
a
had
dick.
you going.
You're
Oh,
a
that's
dick,
awesome.
Josh. I'm done. We're done. We're through.
All right, so
Had
Super Street Fighter 4. What can I say about it? We spent hours playing it. I mean, when it came out in March, it was mainly me and Chipoco for a little while, and we would go back and forth. And then it was cool to see Pete pick it up, and then Mike picked it up, and Billy picked it up, and you picked it up, and everybody just got involved. And we ended up with this awesome little community of friends that, like, every Saturday we would get together at, like, 11 p.m. and just play Street Fighter. And we would play until, like, 4 in the morning every weekend. And really, what more can you ask out of a game that just brings everybody together like that? And you had a lot of fun. I mean, we've had such great moments, like Mike doing DJ's cross-up so much on Pete and getting perfects to the point where Pete rage quit and shut off his PS3. You were there for that, right?
I think so? No, I wasn't.
Oh. I think actually that might have been before you got into it.
I think it was just before, or it happened after I started playing and I went to bed because it was like 1 in the morning.
But, you know, it's been a really fun experience teaching everybody else, like, how to play and what to look for and watching everybody progress, too, because it's like a game that I convinced everybody to get. And, you know, after working with them, like, seeing the fruits of their labor, because you do get better the more you play, because you see more things happening and you're able to pick up on it and change. So when I'm seeing Pete go from a guy who would have a full super meter and a full ultra meter, become this guy who is now trading ultras and pushing me to my limit, was just really amazing. I mean, all of you have progressed so much, and it was
You must be so proud, Dad.
I am quite proud of all of you, because we had a lot of fucking fun with it. What can I say?
And I think we will continue to have fun with it.
Yeah. So that is why that is my number 1 game of the year. And I have to say, sir, this was one of the hardest years that I've had to pick games out of.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because there's like 3 more games that I wanted to put on my list. I have enough for a top 15. Like,
it's a little more than 3, Josh.
Yeah, but there's 3 more that I really want to put on here. But I can make enough for 15.
Well, why don't you do an honorable mention then?
I got a couple of honorable mentions. One will be
You're limited to 2 honorable mentions.
Fuck. One of them would be God of War 3.
Ugh.
I never played a God of War. Did I make noises when you announced my Mass Effect 2?
No, but
Okay.
God
That's
of War
what I
3 is different.
But no, God of War 3, I've never played a God of War game before. And so this was my first one. And God, it was just so fantastic to go through and slay everything that you saw and do it in a really gruesome manner because that game was bloody as fuck. And no, I'm exceptionally happy with that game. It was fantastic. I guess my other honorable mention would be probably Cataclysm. But the reason why I didn't put it on here is because it's way too early based into the actual content of the game for me to have that much of high praise for it because there were so many great games this year. So I guess that's going to wrap it up for our top 5 games of the year.
All right.
I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
This was a good year. I have to make a list for the PS nerds of top 5 downloadable games.
Do Steam games count towards that?
I don't know. I'd have
Because
to ask them.
technically they are downloadable games.
I think they're looking for more XBLA and PSN.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but you do that with the PC as well, because I was thinking about submitting a list.
That's a good question. Why don't you ask them?
I think I will. I'll ask Pete right after this.
All right.
Be like, hey, Pete, what do you think?
I was going to put Final
Shut up, Kyle, you're an idiot. I'm like, oh, Pete, why'd you say that? I thought you were my podcast pal and buddy. And then we'll hug it out, and everything will be okay.
I don't know where to go from there. But I almost put Final Fantasy 13 on my top 5 games of the year list, by the way.
I gotta fucking beat that game still.
I was talking to Pete about it last night. I was like, Pete, how weird would it be if I put that in my top 5 games of the year list? And he's like, I think you would have some explaining to do. And I was like...
Wait, didn't he put like 100 hours into that?
Yeah, he platinumed it. But he's like, you'd have some explaining to do. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to put that on my top 5 games of the year list. Just for that reason. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us, sir. We've had a very good year of the show. We actually met in person doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, we've come a long way. We just need to get back on our schedule.
Yeah.
Ever
we
since that
do.
goddamn Fun Spot trip.
Yeah, we were really good up until that point.
Yeah, I think it's like, where can we go from there?
We could do another Fun Spot trip
Yeah.
in August.
Yeah. So we're not going to podcast again until then?
Yeah. We're just gonna.
Okay.
You're just gonna release Critical Musics.
Ugh.
Because that's what the people want, Josh.
Critical Music's come a long way in this year, too.
Yeah, you actually had other people do it.
Yeah. When are you doing your next one?
I don't know. When do you need me to do a next one?
Whenever you want. Like I said on the Blizzard one, you guys have an open invitation.
All right, I gotta think of a theme.
All right, so why don't you run down on how people can get in contact with us?
All right, we'll just do the standard ways, I guess. The only ways. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, Twitter. Both. At least I check it constantly. You can follow me with @KRDumont. You can follow Josh with @Nasero, or you can follow the podcast itself @Critical Strike. You can call us and leave us a voicemail at 909-C-STRIKE or 909-278-7453, or send us an email and we'll read it and do stuff with that at critical.cstrikepodcast@gmail.com, and leave us an iTunes review because we love those.
And be sure to check out our friends over at Platform Nation, such as the Video Game Jocks, the Fanboys, the PS Nerds, the Rumble Pack, Some Other Castle, and all our friends over there will probably appreciate that.
I'm sure they will.
Yep. Well, sir, it's time to order the post-podcast pizza.
I know, I just started getting hungry, but there's steak downstairs, and I think I'm going to eat that instead.
Oh, I would probably take a steak over it as well. All right, folks, we'll probably see you next year. I can't guarantee another recording, but maybe another Critical Music.
All right, that sounds good.
So if we don't do another podcast, have a good holiday, and fuck you, Kyle.
What?
Yep.
That's not a good note to end on.
Yep.
I don't like that at all.
That's the way it's going.
You know what? Fuck you, Josh. I'm done.
All right.
This podcast is over.
I'm finally getting to quit and go join the PS Nerds.
Why would you bring their show down?
Oh. Really? Wow.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
And this is how we're going to pick up for next year. Look at that. We're going back to our roots.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Kyle.
Fuck you, Josh.
Oh, man, now Ovechkin's head is in a bowling bag. Wow. All right.
What?
Yeah, okay. Too many hockey commercials. God damn it. All right, so we'll see you guys next year. Have a
Why
good
is
show.
his head in a bowling bag?
Bye.
How is his head even talking? You have weird commercials.
Am I always right? Yes, I am.
No.
Yes, I am.
You're never right.
What? That's not cool, Kyle, because I'm always
Whatever.
right. I'm always like, you know what? I'm always right. And you're like, you know what, Josh? You are always right, because really, you're the best. You're the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep you down. Because you are the best around.
Was I drunk when I said this?
You might have been, because honestly, I can't tell when you're not drunk because you're always drunk.
I'm not always
And
drunk.
then you're like, you know what, Josh? I might be drunk right now, but you're the best. You're the best around. Nothing's ever going to keep you down. I mean,
I think the last drink I had was the last podcast.
well, I mean, it's like, you're a moonkin, Josh, so you're the best. I can't, there's nothing I can say.
Moon can suck.
Why don't you guzzle another beer there, Lushy?